Today I want to talk about 4 ways that you can use your Enneagram type to grow as an entrepreneur. My name is Michelle K. Anderson, and I work with entrepreneurs to help them build profitable businesses that are beautifully aligned with who they are. And there are 4 different ways that you can use the Enneagram to help you grow personally, because as the leader of your business, if you are not growing, your business is not growing. And the work that I do is to help entrepreneurs go from the place where they're struggling and stressed out and where nothing seems to be working to the strategic CEO who knows exactly what's next, who's able to make impact for their clients and is building momentum in their business. Okay, so the first of the 4 pieces of the growth path using your Enneagram type is related to increasing the consciousness of your patterns and habits. Every Enneagram type has a unique set of unconscious motivations, fears, filters on which they see the world that are coloring the way they see reality. And bringing your awareness to these patterns can help you see that there are lots of other ways to approach a situation. It helps you to be able to take multiple perspectives or to think more creatively to solve the problems that are coming up in your business. And so that is why it's really important to kind of start with seeing the color lenses that you're using to see the world. So you can see that if you are a struggling entrepreneur, part of the reason you might be struggling is because you can't see things clearly, or because you feel like a victim to circumstances when in fact you might be contributing to the situation that you're in. So the first step is to get really clear on what those patterns are and start to build your observational muscles so that you can see when they're at play in your life. Okay, so what are the habits and patterns that I'm talking about? The Enneagram lays out specific dynamics that are related to your type, not just external behaviors like the things that you do, but really why you're doing the things that you do. So the unconscious motivations, the things that you're drawn to, the fears that you're avoiding, what your blind spots are, where your natural weaknesses are. You've also got like focus of attention, which is like the default unconscious way that your brain starts paying attention to the world and filters the information that even makes it to your consciousness. Those are the types of patterns that I'm talking about if you want to become a more strategic CEO who is able to build momentum because they're able to get out of their own way. If you want to know more about those patterns, I've got a ton of information on my website at michellekanderson.com. There you can download all of the information for each of the Enneagram types and learn more about the Enneagram system if you're curious. The second way that you can use your Enneagram type to grow as a leader. One of the common mistakes that struggling entrepreneurs make, or even people who are new to studying the Enneagram, is getting stuck learning about your patterns and not really stepping into the growth path that is outlined in the Enneagram so that you can grow. All of this information is contained in my Entrepreneur Accelerator program in the 3rd pillar, where we talk about how not to let your personality run the show anymore, how to run and operate your business from your essential self so that you can find more ease, so that you're more magnetic and you're not tripping over your own stuff, honestly. Okay, this is a really unique way to use the Enneagram type to grow because not a lot of people are talking about how you can use your wings to grow. So when you figure out your Enneagram type, you have a dominant type on the circle, and the types that are adjacent to it on either side, on the right or left of your number, are called your wings. And these wings are really key to being able to balance out the tension and the patterns of your type. So each type is kind of a answer or resolution to the tension of each type on either side of you. So once you get your Enneagram test results back from me, it'll go into all of this detail for you and what it means for you personally. But just want you to know that at a high level, you can use your wings to help you get perspective in a situation. So let's say you are facing a dilemma in your business and your default mode of action would be to become more compliant, to double down and work even harder. You can look to your wings to think about another approach to this and get out of that kind of default way of being. So if you're a 1, you can lean on type 9 to really think about what would feel most harmonious here? Is there an opportunity to like mediate between sides, or to look at this from a different perspective, or maybe from the two perspective? It's like, how can I be of service here? What is really needed? How can I see into the needs of others so that we can, get to a solution that feels more impactful or is going to land even better, instead of the one's default, which would be like doing the right thing, doubling down on maybe getting lost in the weeds, or being so focused on procedure or getting it exactly right. So to recap, your wings, or the types on either side of your dominant type, can help you relieve tension and get perspective. It also helps you to find a little bit more equanimity and balance in what you're doing. So look to your Enneagram report that you get when you complete the test with me, and there will be a ton more information about how to use your wings to grow and what that means and how it gets all mixed up with your type and your subtype and all that kind of stuff. The third way that you can use your Enneagram type to grow, and that is using the lines, or sometimes called the arrows. Your main Enneagram type is connected to two other types by the lines that go across the Enneagram symbol. And there will be clues in the types that are connected to yours as to how you can grow and get out of those kind of default patterns that have you feeling kind of stuck, or in cycles that you can't seem to get out of, or when you can't see another way to look at a problem or really even understand things. There's a lot to say about lines and how to use them, and all of that is in the program, but there are two pieces of this that I want you to understand right now really quickly. One is that one of the types that you're connected to is sometimes called your stress or release line, and that is kind of the first place to start. So I'm an Enneagram 1, so my point of stress is 0.7. And that means that when I get really stressed out or I'm taking things too seriously, I can remind myself that I can relieve some of the stress by going to type 7, which is to be a little bit more spontaneous, a little bit more playful, find some levity, and to not take myself so seriously. But this point can also be a clue to the types of things that I need to reintegrate. The things in my past that I had to let go of in order to survive, or because it wasn't acceptable. And so you can also use that type to help give you some clues to the type of work, shadow work, that will help you kind of own those pieces of yourself that you had to let go of at some point in your journey. And the integration journey is what is going to allow you to like get access to that type and the strategies of that type more often and more freely, which is awesome, because that means that you're not just operating on default where you've got like one right way to see everything. The other type that you're connected to is called your growth type, or sometimes called your stretch type. And this is the one you have access to when things are going well or you're more relaxed. So this type can provide clues to key challenges that you need to master in order to grow and evolve. And that's the name of the game here. So a lot of people know about the lines, but it's kind of confusing how to use them in your business to grow, and I cover all of that and more. I show you how to use all of this information to become more magnetic in your messaging, and how to get really clear on your niche and working with your ideal customers, and how this all shows up in your business, because entrepreneurship is one of the hardest challenges you will face in your life. You've got to overcome all this stuff that comes up in the process of growing your business. And it's been so much fun to work with entrepreneurs to help them make the connection between these things and to see the results that they're getting in their business. One of the best things about using these lines is that you can, if you're feeling like a stressed out entrepreneur whose business is not growing, you can use the information immediately in your line that you're connected to help you find some relief from the stress that you're feeling, so that you can be more strategic, see things from a different perspective, help clients more, and make a bigger impact. I want to talk about the use of paradox and polarity using the Enneagram. And I don't see a lot of teachers going into this, and that's in part why I created my program, so that I could take the esoteric kind of ancient wisdom teachings and break it down in a way that feels really actionable and doable to you as you're growing your business. And each Enneagram type has what's called a some people call it a vice, a virtue, but I call it a paradox, where there's this kind of default lower expression of your personality, and then there's this like potentiality of who you could be, or the expression of your personality at the highest levels when you're more expanded. And so understanding that journey and the path from one to the other is a way to help you kind of relax into that pattern and to kind of know where your North Star is, kind of what the antidote to your default patterns is going to be. So for an Enneagram type 1, the vice, as they call it, is called anger. Or it's more like a simmering resentment or an irritation with the way things are that just is this kind of habitual way of being in the world. And the virtue of a type 1 is called serenity. So that's like going to this place where you're more accepting, where you have this like inner peace instead of the simmering brew or preoccupation with self-judgment or striving to be good, like to be a good person. So you can kind of see how those are opposites and antidotes of each other. So when you find yourself in the place of one, you can remind yourself, oh, there's another option available to me, and the antidote to feeling this way is in the opposite way. So knowing your polarity, the polarity that shows up or is inherent to your personality type, I should say, is a great clue to helping you find just those little itty bitty shortcuts that can help get you unstuck in a situation, or to look at things from a different perspective, or really to inform the decisions that you're making. Because when you're making those decisions at a place from that lower irritation or resentment, it's really reactive, and it's not as strategic or insightful or intentional as your business needs you to be. Because remember, we're trying to help struggling entrepreneurs who are stressed out, and maybe they're solopreneurs who are doing everything themselves, and the business hasn't been growing for a few months. Like, there's a reason why you're stuck and why you aren't growing your business. And the only way to get out of that place is to start to develop the mental flexibility, the emotional intelligence, and to help you see things from a new perspective, and to help you evolve and grow into the strategic CEO that your business needs you to be, where you can make more impact with your clients, and you can build momentum in your business and find ease and flow in the process of building your business. So if you want to know more about how you can use your Enneagram type to grow you as a leader of your business, you can find me at michellekanderson.com, or send me a message. I'd be happy to talk more about the different ways that we can put this to work in your business, or about the programs I've got going, or just other ways that I can help you.